Hello again, this is Coding Academy. Now we are going to build one of the stunning web application using a simple CSS grid. It is one of the best and it is one of my favorite CSS that I use to work with because grid is somehow powerful compared to that Flexbox, and I'm going to show you step by step this simple website. This is just a little sip of grid that I want to introduce you in the coming videos. So let's see the simple project that we are going to build. You can see this is the project that we are going to build. We will need this external container. You can see this external container, which is not even visible, and we need inner container, which is this, and we need two inner one of the container, and we put there the pictures, which is here, and here's the picture, and here again we have another picture, and here we have another picture. So step by step we are going to build it step by step. Please follow the steps of how we are going to do it. So come here inside the VS Code Studio, and the first thing that you can do is just write the main, because it is the main container that we will need. And inside the main container we will need another thing that is called the section, which is the container in which everything that is remaining contains. We will say section dot parent, and it is the first box in which we are going to include other two boxes, and we will create another two boxes inside them. We will create, for example, dot left container like this, and below it we will put there dot right container like this. You can see we have already created the two parts. And again, other thing that you must know, here on the left container we have this thing to say that inside here we must put there a header and a paragraph, and we will put there a label that is having this. For example, this is the label for the name, and this is for the email, and this is the for submit button. So the way we will do it, we will put inside the div class of the left side, we will put their article, which is other type of the container box in which information is pressed there for the supply on the browser. So let us name this dot upper left. Be careful in using the names of the classes, and when you put there, we will put there the header one for the heading dot title like this, and inside it, for example, we'll put there a text of, for example, of 4 words like this, and we will put there a paragraph that is having lorem like this. Let's say it must be like that. The lorem, it is one of the built-in words which is the software which releases too many words to be used while you are trying to create something, to see whether it will work the same way you want. And it is built there. Just to do it, you come here and just type lorem like this, and you put there a number of the words that you want. For example, if I want 12, I can put there, and the 12 words you will see there. You can even write 1,000 words. You can even get them with no problem. So here below we will put there the first label, and we say label for name, and inside the label we will put there an input text which must be there. For form element must have labels, element does not have have an impressive rapid, has no title, attribute, things like that. And you can come here and give it title for name, for example, type text, just the word text, like that. And below it you must put there another label and say that this label is for email, like that. And inside you put there an input type email, and you put there required, like this. Control S to save. And you must know that you have already in the upper part of the div, and this must be placed in the middle part of the div, like here. Let's say in the middle part of this must also belong in the container. You must say, for example, dot submission submit information like that. And when you do that, is where we are going to put another simple that thing that we have got there. Control V, you can see required, and the title you must say here, you must put email, like this. And below another this label, you can see they are telling us there must be the button. Here we must put another button there, and we will come inside this div that we've created below this other label, and we put there the button. And inside the button we'll type with button, like that. And inside here we must put the for example submit, like that. Control S to save. And then below the article we must put there the image, because we have finally put the information of this. We must already created this entire information, and then we are going to put there this image, you can see. And below the article we put there the image. There is no problem with the image. And with the image we put there the source, and the source must be from the images, like that. And with the images you will put this, for example, is one, and we put there I said images, like this. Control S to save. And when you Control Alt P to check your website with the live server, you can see how our first part is looking like. You can see, yes, you can see it is very large image. Yes, you can see. And I'm going to control it using CSS in the coming time. So with the left container, you can see we will need the other upper part and the lower part. The upper part have the its first left part is image, and the second part is just a container which is full of simple words. So to do it, you will come here inside here and create article dot put their class upper light container, like this. In the upper right container we must put the image first, and it must be, for example, image. You grab the images there, and you will take this simple image that I called by 4, and the alt we will say image from the by, for example. Control S to save, you can see. And now the other thing that we must care about is that it is followed with another simple article, dot article dot write content, like this. And with the light content you can see there is a header. For example, it is the header 2 with a simple paragraph and a button there. So we come here and just say this article we have the header 2 with the lorem, for example, that is also 4, and with the paragraph having lorem like this. Let's reduce this word to be, for example, to be reduced to this level, and we remain with this. And then we come here and put there a button and say the type must be button, and here we must say, for example, check the product like this. Control S to save. And now you can see we created the second part, and you can see how the image are displayed there. And then another thing that we are going to create is this down below div, which is this. It is this one that we are going to create. Also have its right part the image, and inside the left part, its left part is the image, the right part is the content that is with the image below it. So there is no other thing that we do. You will come below this article. For example, if you want to not disapply it, you see we ended the upper light container, the upper light container, and then we go to the article with the class saying, for example, lower right container, like this. And then after that you will see we are going to put there its left part. We will put there the image. Let's say we want the image like this, which we take from the images, and take a simple over to 0, and the alt it is just a simple display text, and say avatar movie, for example, and below by its dot right inner, for example, div, which is this simple container, which is by the side. You can see this side. We are now on this side. It must have the upper part, which is simple words, for example, P, that is having, for example, rem 23, like this. You can see. And then we put below the image saying, for example, we want this image to have, for example, this image must be For example, Dubai, source is image Dubai 3, for example, and RTZ, the curve from Dubai, 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 like that. Control S to save. So the first thing that you must care about, we have the parent, and you must first close every big div that is inside there. Let's say like this. You can see our section contains only two parts, the left part and the right part. So we are first going to deal with the simple CSS. Please follow step by step before we go in the complex part. So you come here inside the grid CSS. You can see I have already know what is happening. I have already pressed there a grid the CSS. So you come here below on this browser. You can see I have already supplied each and everything with no doubt. You can see it is a very shabby and bad looking website. The first thing that I must remove here is those paddings and margins. So you come here inside here and they say by HTML and body must have the padding of 0 pixels, margin of 0 pixels, and you must see that the box sizing must be border box and the width must be 100% like that. When you come here, you can see I didn't link this HTML with CSS. You come here and first link it with grid the CSS, and when its name here grid course like this, you can see now something have changed. Even if the image are behaving somehow weird, I'm going to collect it in this in this coming time. Then we are going to the image. When you come to the image, no other thing that you must care about. You must write image and you make it the supply block, background position, or you must objectivity. You must give it cover, for example, and then width, which is the width, must be 100%, and the Control S to save. When you go to the image, you see the image have already fit inside what? Inside our browser. So this is the first responsiveness of our website. You can see how it is seem different phones, like when you come here on the phone iPhone SIE, and you can come here and go to ZenBook. You can see how it is looking like there is no other problem. The responsiveness is okay. So now we are going to deal with the parent. See, with the parent, you just click dot parent to target the class like that, and the first thing that you must do with the parent, you must do the supply grade like this. You can see Control S to save. Nothing normally changed, but when you say grade template column and just say repeat 2 by 1 FR, you will see the magic thing happening. You can see the first part is stuck on the light and the second part is stuck on what? On the on another side. but this is not even responsiveness. It is looking somehow shabby, trying to squish inside, but when you put the small, you can see how they are looking like, and you want it to be on the same line. So no other way that will do it. So you are going to do this. You must also give the gap. For example, I want them to have 20 pixels. You can see, and you can see the distance that is between this left and the right container. So with this, you can see now we are going to approach our thing. So then you care that you must think that inside this a light container will have upper light container that must have also the supply, the grid. You come here and they put there the supply grid, the supply grid like this, and you can even copy this so that to get just a visualization of what we thought of. And you can see we are at least approaching our design. We have the left part, the image, this, and then we are going to deal with the down part. You can see, yes. Now we are going to take this lower part. Where is the lower part? Upper part, and this is the lower container. Let's take it and press there. Let's first make it class like that, and we allow it to be the supplied grid. And with the supplied of grid, we can even copy this again and press it here to get an overview of the thing that we want to do. You can see now at least we have figured how we are going to build our simple looking portfolio. You can see, yes, they are looking very good. So we are going to begin with this left part. So care that in the main must at least have a simple padding. For example, let us give it 10 pixels so that we can see all edges of our website. You can see no longer stuck on this side. Yes, and inside every grid you can give it gap. For example, this must have, for example, 5 pixels, and this must have gap of 5 pixels, like that. Control S to save. You can see the separation, and within the upper and the lower part there is another right container. .c Control V, and when it is supplied, this supply also grid, and you give it a gap of, for example, 10 pixels, like this, and you will see a very simple looking website. So you can see how it is working like. Then we are going to create something that is very looking very well with no other complication. You can see the button is working very well, and input it is an inline element, and that the simple title is being displayed here. So we are going to deal with this thing, and then let's give our image a simple margin, which is, for example, 5 pixels, like this. And you can see our image somehow distorted from its position, but let me remove it so that you want layers like this. You can see this is the first step. This is the first step. So the second thing that you must care about, we are going to deal with the light part and give it some visible parts, some visible important thing, and see whether it will be looking as a professional. So there is no other way you can do it. You will come here on the left container, that is C, and by the left container, Control V. I will only use grid to supply grid, and you can give it another gap of, for example, 10 pixels like this. Control S to save, and you can see a small thing have happened. The left container, please, I have a left container like this, yes, I have already corrected the mistake, and you can see something have changed. What is happening there? No, I have not changed this, and now you can see a gap have already formed. Now I'm going to deal with changing the simple color, background color, how it will be disapplied, and I will come by saying our left container, let it have, for example, border radius of, for example, 10 pixels like this, with the box shadow, for example, 2 pixels, 3 pixels, 10 pixels, for example. You give it black color, but you must reduce it so that it have a small opacity. Control S to save, and you can see something have changed. Yes, and inside this I can put there a padding. Say I want padding of 10 pixels also, and you can see our button is looking very well. You can see our left part, how it is looking like. Now we are going to deal with our light part. How we'll be dealing with the light part. Let's say our light part, and give it background color. For example, linear gradient, linear, no background. Let's give it background and give it linear gradient to top, left like this, to top, left. Let us give it black, and by another side we put there gray like that. And when we finally did that, when you Control S to save, you will see something weird have happened. You see how it is looking like. And when you give a simple padding there, and you give it padding also of 10 pixels, Control S to save, you will see also something have happened there. And I want this color to have a small opacity like this. Control S to save, and you can see something have changed. Its linear gradient have changed, and we can give it border radius also, border radius of 10 pixels, to make it two different containers like this. And you can see something that is happening there, and we want every image that is inside there dot right container, every image that is there must have the border radius, for example, of 10 pixels. You can see, and you will find nothing that is happening there. the image, the container. So let us not even set the image to have the border. Let's just stay it like this. So this is a first approach. You can see now it is working very well. We are going to style now button. We will let the button have the same color and say we want our button, for example, to have the background color of, for example, red, like this, and the color must be white. Font weight, for example, it must be like 600, and you can see something have changed, and we allow it to have the padding of .6 m and and 1.2 m, like this. And you can see the button now are somehow huge, and then you remove there the border, none, border radius, and you set it to 5. Control S to save. Is border radius to 5 pixel. You can see our border of the button have changed. You can see, and but let's set the hover button slash hover. Let's set the background color to, for example, red, but somehow whitish, like this on hover. And you can see hover, and then we allow it to transform scale. See, from scale 1.02, and its transition, the distance to the time to happen must be, for example, 300 millisecond is in out, like that. And when you hover over the button, there is something that is happening. You see our button have changed. You can see it can even be applied to the image if you want it. So then we are going to create the stunningness of this good looking website. We are going to turn this down part into a blue, somehow blue, and a somehow bluish, yes, and then turn everything into a good working thing. We come here and first do with the paragraph, and I say that I want font family to be, for example, Arial, vertical and self, font size, and you reduce it to 14 pixels, and you will see how they are looking very well. You can see. Then you come by that header one, and you give it font family to be fancy, for example. You can see. And now, and even for header 2, like that, it is also applied there. You can see how it is looking very exciting for. So another thing that we must care about here, we are going to put there the background color on the main, where you to set the background color, for example, to gray. Also, you can see when we set that color to gray, you see how our website now is turning to. And I'm going to set this part to backdrop filter and see what the magic that is going to happen there. The lefty part, inner grid padding that is here, the left part, left container, you can see, let's say backdrop, filter and the zebra to 12 pixel, like that. Let's see whether something have happened. And when you change its color, background color to white, and you reduce simple, you reduce by its simple, can see that there is something that happened there, and now our site is looking somehow very professional. Let's like that. You can see that our site is looking very professional, and by that side also, where we put a linear gradient, I'm going to change something there, and we allow it to have somehow bluish color, and it is gray. I will reduce it to here, and then do rank this thing here, the top. And when you got to see the website, is looking also very stunning, and this color can distort the button. Let's do this like this, and reduce its opacity by this. Ctrl S to save, and you can see something have changed. Its linear gradient is also working very well. You can see this is just simple, and now we are going to do something with this part, and it is the down part of the lower button. I come here by the left inner div, which is here, Ctrl C, and by below I will Ctrl V to save, and put there, and set padding to 10 pixel like this, and we come here, you can see something have changed, and let me allow it to have the background color of white. Ctrl S to save, you can see, and give it border radius, for example, radius of 10 pixel like that, and you can see how it is looking very well, like we are looking on this picture. We have created this to be visible. So this is our very crucial part. Now I'm going to take the other lower part and give it a padding, so that this will be also looking very well. I come here inside the lower light container. Where is the lower light container? Lower light container, and give it the padding of example 10 pixels. Ctrl S to save, and you can see something have changed. Now we have something that is not like the other thing, the other containers, and this is our first party. So congratulations, now you have created a simple, somehow very good looking website. It's just take that input and change something, input and say that we want the height to be 40, for example, pixels. You can see they have already changed, and inside that thing we can come here in email placeholder and put their email, press like this, and here another input. Here we put the placeholder and say name, and when you see this, everything have changed. You see how it is looking very well, but according to responsiveness, it is working somehow weird. You can see it is behaving somehow weird, padding, things like that, and I'm going to change it only using a simple one CSS trick. So no other CSS, no other grid trick that you can use. I have a simple sticky notes. There is a simple code that I've written there, and when I grab it, let's just grab this simple line, and you are going to see how it is magic. Control C, and let's do cross that thing like that. So you come here on every parent, we say that we want this, and you can just put here this simple code. You can see repeat autofit min max 9m, but you can put there, for example, 50% of 100% also is possible. And when you come again here, you can see something I've changed, but you can come here and change it to be, for example, 12m, like that. It is also the, yes, you can see when you do inspection, they are somehow now behaving responsive. They are giving responsiveness. So the second that we must care about is this thing that you are seeing here, this upper part, and this lower part we are going to put there the code. So you will come here and also delete the thing, just paste this. You can see grid template total like that. Control S to save. Now it is distorted, but when you do like this, you can see something have changed, and you go below again where it is disapplied grid with this template column, and just press there this crazy line, and when you put there that crazy line, now everything is working hand by hand. There is no other problem that we meet with. You can see now it is working very well. You can see with responsive, now you can see how it is working very well. Yes, and when you reach on this side of fun, it will be looking like this. There is no big problem, and we are going to say something on this side, and by below you can see how they are behaving. Let's say something about that input. Let's set it to 30 pixels. You can see, let's refresh. So yes, and let's put media query, media shift already media and screen, max width of 400. Let's say mean width of 470. 68 pixels, 86 pixels. Our input must be displayed. Input must be displayed, must display block like that. Oh no, max, let's use max. Max saying like that. Yes, they will work very well. And when we get to the smaller width, you see they are behaving very well. And then they must have both margin of, for example, 5 pixels. Control S to save. You can see now, refresh, inspect. You can see something is happening very well. Yes, and then margin top, margin top like this, so that it doesn't go outline of with another. You can see inspection. Yes, yes, you can see now there is no other problem that they have. Yes, you can see there is no other problem that they have. It is very, very good and responsive. A very good looking site that is built within a small pool with a simple grid line. When you want this image to get out from this cornered round, you can come here inside the CSS and give every image. I want every image to have the border radius of, for example, 10 pixels. And when you finish, you can see every image is behaving very well. And now I'm going to do something on the image, and I say that image hover, let them transform scale by 1.02, and say its transition all must be happen in 300 millisecond is, and out. Control S to save. And you can see when I hover over an image, there is something that is happening in that time, and even on the button. So with better colors, you can even, with better colors, now you can even keep on transforming this project the way you want it. So I can come again, and for example, I want this upper part to be somehow completely separate from others, and I say that upper part inside this and say grab this upper part and say I want to give its background color to black, black background color, and give it to black, so that its color has to be white like that. We see something have changed inside them. And then you may give it, for example, a padding of, for example, 10 pixels. Let's see what is going to happen there. And when you set it like that, you can see it is working very well. And now I'm going to allow it to have border radius of also 10 pixel like that, and you can see it is working very well. There is no other big problem with this project. So finally, if we end with this project, you can see it's very responsive, never material. Yes, I think the shortest part will be like that, and then you can change the font size when it reaches to that level of the heading, and you come here by the heading 1. I want its font size to be, for example, 24 pixel, heading 1 and heading 2 like this, so that it is not behaving so weird like the way it was. And then I give it font weight, for example 600. Yes, and when you inspect it, you can see something is happening. Before the text was so big, but now it is reduced. It is not applied to this header too, but let me come and change something. Header 2, it must be even applied to header 2. Yes, let's just grab this. No, and the header 2 must have its font size. Font size must be 20, for example, 20, no, 18, for example, pix. So we will allow this for header 1. And we take its font weight to be 500 like this. Ctrl S to save, and when you refresh, you can see something have happened. And when you reduce to this small screen, you see now it is working very well. This section we have finally did this project. You can see we have already built this project, and now I hope it is very useful and very simple. Don't hesitate, this is for you. If you are beginner in the HTML and CSS, you can build this well good looking understanding part of the website. It is very important and very useful. Don't hesitate. So if you are the first person to reach, on this video, don't leave without sharing, subscribing, and please comment so that I may know what is going next. The other thing that is remaining, if I want to put the box shadow on back behind this button, you can come here inside the CSS and say button box shadow to be 2 pixel solid, to be 2 pixel, 3 pixel, 4 pixel. You give it either red, and you come inside this red, and you do it like that, reducing opacity by that. And then you go, when you see the button again, something now have changed. You can see they have a box shadow, and however you see the effect that is happening there. So again, congratulations, have finally ended the course very well. So thank you. This is Coding Academy.